Good morning, everyone. Today we will be doing a vintage cube draft. Now, I should be recording Tron right now because I'm recording these out of order, but my brain's not working and my coffee is like 3 times as strong as I normally make it by accident. Don't ask how that happened. Alright, this is kind of interesting. There's only one storm card in this pack, which is like the first time that's happened in forever, and it's a really good storm card. I kind of want to force storm. I'll take a brain freeze, and we'll see what happens, I guess. I think ideally I should take Spire Bluff for like Breeding Pool, or maybe even like Tezzeret, because Tezzeret's very strong. But we're gonna try this, I think. Ooh, and a Yawgmoth's Will? This also really is the only Storm card in this pack. I guess we could actually play Balance and Storm or Muldrifter, but I'll take a Yawgwill. These are two of the most important Storm cards. Brain Freeze does suck a little bit if your opponent is playing Eldrazi, like Kozilek or Emrakul. Okay, so there is a Soccer Tribe Elder, Monastery Swiftspear, there's Damnation. I like Venser. Workshop is fun, but it only goes in one deck. Flame Slash is somewhat okay removal. I think I'm going to take Venser. Okay, in this pack we have Mystical Tutor, Dark Petition, Verdant Catacombs, and I think that's it for the Storm deck. Verdant Catacombs is nice. Mystical Tutor is incredibly strong. Dark Petition is very good as well. I think Mystical Tutor might actually be better. Well, Dark Petition's better if you're comboing off. It's just harder to turn on and harder to cast. It also goes, I think, in probably less decks. It can go in the mono black deck. Maybe we take Mystical Tutor and try and wheel Dark Petition. This is also what I'm doing to draft this deck is the opposite of what you should be doing to play Storm. It's entirely possible that somebody else is drafting Storm right now, and if they are, I'm going to be very sad. Because like my backup plan for a deck like this is non-existent. You should always try and pick. If you think Storm might be open and you see a couple of good Storm cards going by, you should, on the first pass through all the packs, take cards tangentially related, like Fixing and like Mana Rocks and that sort of thing. I would early pick a High Tide, because you can always like play a different deck where you High Tide into Eldrazi or something like that. But other than that, I would pass all the Storm cards, and if they all start coming around, that means no one is in Storm and you're free to just go nuts. I'll take an Impulse. Impulse is very good in the deck we're trying to play here. Oh man, okay. Chrome Mox and LED. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So one card is going to wheel from this. Chrome Mox is very strong in a Storm deck. I don't know if it's stronger than Lion's Eye Diamond, especially with the Yawgmoth's Will, which is what makes this pick so hard. I think I am going to take Chrome Mox just because I'm not very good with Lion's Eye Diamond, but this card could wheel if there's nobody else playing Draw 7s or anything like that. Okay. I like Daze. I also like Night's Whisper. Ancestral Visions isn't bad. We can use it to set up for like a big turn. But the free counterspell is also occasionally a free Storm count when we have like 1 extra mana kind of a situation, so I think I'll take the Daze. It's also good protection when you're comboing off. Just all around, I like it. We do have a 1,000-year Storm, so like I could run Lightning Strike as a way to win. I don't really want to play red if I can avoid it. We could also take Grizzlebrand and have the backup plan of like maybe reanimating a Grizzlebrand or something like that. I'll do the quote-unquote right thing. We'll take Lightning Strike. Lightning Helix is kind of the same way, but it's another color we don't have, so I'm going to take Shriekmaw, I think. I don't think I'm going to play probably Shriekmaw or Lightning Strike. We could take Damnation to have a Wrath or a board reset, or we could take Flame Slash to have another piece of removal. I think I'll take Damnation, but it's also going in the maybe pile. Dark Petition wheeled, which is a good sign for us. It's possible we... I don't think we would play Grim Lavamancer or Plaguecrafter, so I'm going to take the land, because it might help in some way. I also don't think we'd play Kadolth Forge Master, or really Phyrexian Rager. Okay. Pack 2, what do we got? Alright, so in Pack 2, there's a Karakas. We do have Venser. Karakas Venser is a combo. There's an on-color Signet, which fixes for us. and accumulating mana is important for a Storm deck. There's a Treasure Cruise, which I wouldn't mind taking. There's an Upheaval. And Upheaval's good, but we don't really have... Like, we have a Chrome Mox, that's our mana rock. And Chrome Mox is not a very good Upheaval mana rock, I don't think. I guess it could be. I'm still going to take the Signet. Okay, in this pack, there's Teferi Time Raveler, Jace the Mind Sculptor, Turnabout. I really like Jace, even though he's a little bit slow. Like, we have Chrome Mox and Dimir Signet for a possible turn 2 Jace, which would be sweet. I'm really hoping Turnabout wheels. Yeah, I'm gonna take Jace. Okay, there's a Show and Tell. We could take Urza. I kind of like taking Ulamog for the reshuffle. It's kind of important in Storm to be able to shuffle back cards that you want to recast and things like that back into your deck. If you don't have draw 7s and stuff. I mean, like, we could take Show and Tell and potentially, like, Show and Tell Thousand Year Storm or Show and Tell Ulamog as well. But I would take Urza or I would take Show and Tell if they came around, I guess. Okay, there's an Oko. Could splash for an Oko, but I'd need to start taking, like, fetch lands and stuff. Looter Eel Core can help fix our hand. There's also Expansion Explosion. I think I take the Looter. There's a Cabal Ritual, Coercive Portal, Darkslick Shores, there's Mind's Desire. Oof. I think for this deck to work, we're going to need this Cabal Ritual and we're going to need Mind's Desire. The only problem I have with Darkslick Shores is it's not an island if we have High Tide. I will take the Cabal Ritual. There's a Gush, a Hymn to Turok, Commit to Memory. Commit to Memory is powerful, and it is a draw 7. But Gush, I think, is way stronger in the Storm deck. If Commit comes around, I'll play it. Unfortunately, we did not take Show and Tell, so otherwise I might consider Emrakul here, but we'll take Gush. Let's see. Emery is really good if you have, like, Lotuses of the black variety, like Black Lotus, or I was gonna say, like, oh yeah, you know, the Suspend one, but that one doesn't work, I don't think. I could take Gear Hulk. It doesn't really have a lot of good targets, but, like, if we end with 8 mana, we could Brain Freeze, Gear Hulk, Brain Freeze. Otherwise, Gilded Lotus is probably better. I'll take the Lotus. I like Mastermind's Acquisition, even though it's probably just worse than Palancron. Palancron, you can potentially get Infinite Storm with High Tide effects and enough lands. Treasure Cruise came all the way around. Murderous Rider is something we can use to interact. Shallow Grave can reanimate an Ulamog. I think I'm going to take Treasure Cruise. Yeah, I don't think I'm playing Desperate Ritual. Turnabout Wield, which is a great sign. Oh, Show and Tell or Blood Crypt, or Imperial Seal. We don't have that many cantrips. Imperial Seal is good, though, especially in Storm. I'm going to take the Blood Crypt so I can potentially splash the Thousand Year Storm. I don't know, maybe Show and Tell was better there. But I have terrible luck with Show and Tell. Like, just atrociously bad luck. Every time I've ever Show and Tell'd, it's like, I've put in Emrakul and my opponent has somehow put in something scarier. Or something that answers Emrakul. Embereth Shieldbreaker is a decent sideboard card. Go ahead and move these cards to the sideboard. Sheoldred, the Whispering One. Okay. Last pack, there's a Time Twister, which is exciting. Tolarian Academy, if we had more cheap artifacts, would also be very good. Grim Monolith is another fantastic mana rock as well. It's possible that, like, Time Twister wheels and I could take a Grim Monolith here, but I don't really want to risk that. I think we do need draw 7s for this deck to work. We haven't been seeing very many duels that are islands. We are base blue, and I think that means I take a counter spell here. Like, I would be happy with a Dismember or a Tasigur or anything if that came around. We are looking for High Tide Time Spiral, and we're running out of time to get it, because I think somebody else is in Storm. Man, this coffee is strong. Ooh, I like Izzet Signet. Vampiric Tutor is very good as well. I think because I'm lacking High Tide, I actually have to go with the Signet here. Yeah, I think that's the case. Like, we're going to be really hurting for mana, which is really going to suck. Maybe we take Cryptic Command? I think I'm okay taking a Cryptic here. Frantic Search, I love it. There's also Dark Ritual. I'm hoping Dark Ritual wheels. It should, but Frantic Search looks great. We do have Mind's Desire as a possible win condition. So, like, just hitting an Ugin or an Ulamog or something like that is completely reasonable. There's nothing really stormy in this pack, so I'll take Ugin. Char, the Black Cleave Cliffs, which also helps us splash Thousand Year Storm. I mean, there is Empty the Warrens. I really dislike Empty the Warrens as a storm win condition. Yeah, I think I would rather take the Black Cleave Cliffs. I do like Baral. Baral is pretty good, especially when, like, cost reduction's pretty good, especially when you're hurting for mana. Grim Monolith came around? Alright, well, that can help me, like, quickly play a Gilded Lotus or another big spell, so I'll take Grim Monolith. Alright, well, I will take Bitter Blossom. I actually have a decent number of artifacts, such that Thirst for Knowledge is an okay draw spell here. Wishclaw Talisman could be good for... But, like, we have a couple of tutors already. Maybe I want Bargain in this deck? I don't generally want Yawgmoth's Bargain in most Storm decks I build, but if it helps us guarantee a particular draw, maybe we should take it. I guess Banefire would be the most playable, Frenzy, even though I'm definitely not playing that. Well, I'm sad that Dark Ritual didn't wheel. But this is why you don't force Storm, because now we don't have, like, we don't have High Tide, we don't have, like, any powerful rituals or anything like that. Okay, I think this means Treasure Cruise, Bargain out for now, probably no Palancron, because no High Tide. I was like, what is that noise? Because it sounds like someone's, like, shuffling a deck of cards upstairs, but it's the echo of Porter snoring. Let's see. Okay, Chrome Mox is a spell. I think I'm going to have to play a slightly more controlling game, which is going to be interesting. Don't think I want Looter. Well, actually, maybe I do. Just constantly cantripping and, well, drawing and then discarding is probably good enough. We do have a Yogg Will, so we can make use of stuff in the grave. Dark Petition might be a little bit ambitious, though it's kind of hilarious with Thousand Year Storm, because you can just Dark Petition, like, a whole bunch of cards out of your deck and then hard cast an Ulamog, or something crazy like that. I need to cut 4 cards, maybe 5. Alright, I'm gonna cut Ugin, because we don't have a way to really, like, cheat it out. I guess we do with all the artifact mana, maybe I shouldn't do that. I'm gonna cut Cryptic. No. I'm gonna cut Thirst for Knowledge, because I don't, like, most of my artifacts I want to actually cast, I don't think I'd ever want to really discard them, especially with how much we're hurting for mana. They're all mana rocks, so. Bitter Blossom doesn't really contribute to the primary game plan, and we don't really have a secondary game plan of, like putting a sword on a token, or a skull clamp, or anything like that. So that one makes sense. I don't really like Venser. Like, there's the whole Venser Brain Freeze, or Brain Freeze Venser Brain Freeze is what I'm trying to say, line, but I don't know that that's actually a real thing. Yeah, I think Venser's too expensive. And I need to cut one more spell. Maybe it is just Ugin. Yeah, alright. We'll add Blood Crypt and Black Cleave Cliffs. I don't want any mountains. We need tons of islands. This gives us 5, potentially 6 black sources if we Chrome Mox something. That's not really that viable because for... Oh, maybe that means I have to cut Dark Petition, actually. Well, no, we have Gilded Lotus. Okay. I'm gonna try this. If this doesn't work out, I'll probably cut Dark Petition for like a Thirst for Knowledge or Treasure Cruise or something. This is probably one of the worst storm decks I've drafted in a long time. Round 1, here we go. A counterspell we can't cast. We do have black and blue mana and a Frantic Search and Brain Freeze. You know what? I'm gonna mulligan because I want artifact mana in my opener. Well, we can turn 1, Island, Chrome Mox, probably Thousand Year Storm, and play Baral. Then if we untap, we can play Time Twister, and we have Daze for backup. Kind of like that. Oh, I have to put a card back. Put back Gilded Lotus. Yeah. Play Chrome Mox. Alright, Chrome Mox, Thousand Year Storm. Play Brawl. Pass the turn. I'm actually feeling relatively safe right now. This Time Twister should resolve. The opponent starts Polluted Delta, fetches, plays a Swamp. Inquisition. Absolutely not allowed. Oh, this also gets us a loot off of Baral. Not that that matters. Sure, we will draw Dimir Signet. That's not better than casting Time Twister, unfortunately. Alright, we untap. Draw Cabal Ritual. Go ahead and Time Twister. I mean, if my opponent has like a Force or something here, that's really, really bad for us. Okay. We did play a land this turn, so let's go ahead and get in for one. The good news is we have like all of our artifact mana we can play out now. The bad news is our opponent has a Mox, which means their deck is pretty much better than ours by default. Emery. Worn Power Stone, Hymn to Turok, Gonti, Riftwing. So they're not Storm, which is good news, I guess. We can Black Cleave Cliffs. We can play like Grim Monolith to go up to 4 mana. Or we can actually just play Dimir Signet into Grim Monolith. Or we could play Dimir Signet into Looter. I think Looter is better. So play the Signet. Play the Looter. Pass the turn. Opponent is casting Worn Power Stone from the grave this turn. Okay. We draw a Cryptic Command, play an island, go to combat, attack our opponent. Probably going to loot away this swamp. For basically anything here. Yeah, drop the swamp. Play Gilded Lotus, because we can leave up Cryptic Command with Baral. We also have Counterspell, though we can only cast one or the other. We are interested in countering something, because it will give us a loot off of Baral. Null Priest of Oblivion. I think we will counterdraw. Okay, let's loot Mind's Desire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Okay, I mean, yeah, let's loot away the island, I think. We get one more loot off of Looter Eel Core. So we'll start with that. Okay, Frantic Search is great. So discard an island here. Cast Frantic Search. Oh, it only costs 2. So this, because we have Baral, it actually generates 1 mana, which is pretty sweet. We draw Blood Crypt, Dark Petition. We do have 2 instants and sorceries in the grave, so we can actually Dark Petition here if we want to. I don't actually think we do, though. We could get like Cabal Ritual, but it's basically just colorless mana to us at this point. We'll discard those cards, untap. I could have actually dazed that for free Storm Count, I guess, which I'm still probably going to do. I'll play Grim Monolith, holding priority, daze Grim Monolith. We will pay 1 for daze, play an island, and I guess we just go Mind's Desire here. Get 4 hits. Well, we can turn about our artifact mana. We can Mystical Tutor to get something. We can Mystical Tutor actually for Brain Freeze. So I'm going to start with Turnabout, name Artifacts, untap. That was pretty sweet. Go ahead and Mystical Tutor. Let's get Brain Freeze. Cast Yogg-Will. Frantic Search. Draw Brain Freeze, 1 unknown. Discard Island Counterspell. Untap our lands. What are we at? 8 times 3 is... will be like 9 times 3. I guess I can cast like 1 or 2 more spells if I want to. Go ahead and Turnabout. Artifact. Untap. And if my opponent has Eldrazi, I'm just gonna like Dark Petition for Ulamog. Same target, same target, same target, same targets. Let's see what they got. Opponent has another Mox. They have Bribery. That Bribery is kind of a problem. We did mill them out though, so go ahead and pass. Whew, we got there. We were turnabouting artifacts instead of the normal plan of turnabout lands. Because my opponent has Bribery, I actually think I'm gonna swap out Ulamog for Ugin. It's not as good, but like I don't want to just die to my like getting Briberied effectively is what I'm trying to say. I also think I probably should be running a Lightning Strike here for the 1,000-Year Storm kill. Like, it wasn't good there because obviously we Chrome Moxed 1,000-Year Storm. The question is, what do I take out for a Lightning Strike? I mean, I actually could just drop Ugin too, and now we could win with Brain Freeze or 1,000-Year Storm Lightning Strike. If my opponent briberies me, they can take like Baral or a Looter. Yeah, let's do it. Always check if you're winning with Brain Freeze or with Mill, you should always check your opponent's like entire deck, if given the option, so that you kind of know what's going on and you can play around things like bribery. Oh man, this coffee is like loaded right now. Like, it doesn't taste like there's any water in it, and I could feel the caffeine absorption happening, which I guess is good. Also, Chrome Mox was way better than LED in that particular game. I feel like that was important to mention, I think. Was it? Because we had Time Twister. Yes, it was. Chrome Mox was better than LED in that game. No mana acceleration, just a daze. I think I'm going to mulligan. I mean, like, we can play a Looter, and we have a potentially a counterspell here. I think I'm going to keep this and put back Dark Petition. I'm kind of hoping I draw something less important than Cryptic Command to pitch to Chrome Mox, but opponent's going to take Chrome Mox 100%, because that just stops us from doing anything. I mean, they could take Looter, but I feel like taking Chrome Mox is way better. They take Counterspell? Okay. Draw an island, play Chrome Mox. Gotta pitch Cryptic Command. And to those of you saying, but Kano, you had another island, you should have just waited to play the Looter. I don't think so. Okay. Well, my opponent only has 3 cards in hand now. A couple of turns from now, we'll get down a Gilded Lotus. We're kind of hoping to top deck Time Twister at this point. Or like Jace. Jace would be good. Opponent plays a Nighthawk Scavenger. We play an island. Pass the turn. We're going to get beaten to death by a 3/3. Play a land and cast that bribery. Okay, they hit us for 3. We go down to 17. They go up to 23. To play Bloodstained Mire and Worn Power Stone. We draw a swamp. Play an island. Play Gilded Lotus. Alright. Well, the good news is we have lots of mana, which is what we struggle with as a Storm deck. Treasure Cruise. Alright. I think my opponent should have cracked Bloodstained Mire there. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Well, deck, I do need to draw something other than lands eventually. Okay, Gonti's a problem. I always hate having Gonti played against me as a Storm deck, because it's like, what if the card that I need is what they took, you know? We draw Mind's Desire, play a Swamp, pass the turn. I feel like we're close. It's just, we're going to have to do something next turn. Opponent hits us, they get to loot. They discard Murderous Rider. It's not impossible for us to win, it's just difficult. Oh my goodness, I about had a heart attack. I looked down and I thought I had not ever started the recording. Opponent's casting something big. Seagate Stormcaller kicked. This is Lightning Bolt? No! Okay, well, we drew an Izzet Signet. Okay. We might have been able to get there with a Mind's Desire for 2. It's not likely, but I guess it is possible. I could bring in like Heartless Act if I wanted to have a removal spell. I don't think I do. I think I just want to have a hand that doesn't get completely wrecked by a single Inquisition, which is difficult when you're playing a Storm deck that's as fragile as this one. Alright, I would love to play first. I can work with this. I really hope they don't start turn 1 Inquisition for the 3rd game in a row. Because if we can go like Island, Swamp, Grim Monolith, Untap, Island, Baral, Time Twister, that would be great. Opponent starts Island, so no Inquisition. Mox Ruby, Looter, okay? We draw 1,000-Year Storm. Play Swamp, play Grim Monolith, pass the turn. Okay, opponent gets in, loots, discards Liliana, plays a Darkslick Shores. Shield Breakers are Grim Monolith, which is very disheartening. I do like Jace. Play Baral, miscalc, sad face. Hopefully this means they're out of interaction by the time we play Jace. Okay, opponent's gonna get in with Looter. They loot away a Firebolt, which they are a ways away from recasting. Flashback. I guess not now, but play an island, play Jace. If we Fate Seal Jace potentially stays alive, They do have 5 mana, they could attack, and they can deal 3 damage to him. I'm gonna Fate Seal myself. Gilded Lotus, I will not put on the bottom of my library. I want to draw that. Next turn, I could play Gilded Lotus, play Time Twister, and then Brainstorm or Fate Seal. Like, 99% of the time, when you play Jace, you should definitely Brainstorm. Unless ticking him up is the only way for you to win, you... Alright, main phase Factor Fiction tells me they're looking for lands. So if I give them that, and... No, I don't want to give them Seagate Stormcaller. They can't cast Gonti, but that's no guarantee. I'll try and do that, I guess. I thought about just all spells and a land, but my opponent might actually take the all spells hand at that point. Okay, they do take the pile of 3. They did have a land. Okay. They go to combat. They hit Jace for 1. Jace down to 4. They play Null Priest of Oblivion. Okay. We untap, we draw Gilded Lotus. So play an island. Play Gilded Lotus. If I tick him up, he still dies to Incinerate, so it's kind of whether or not we want to Brainstorm before or after we Time Twister. I think I Brainstorm now, actually. We'll put back Blood Crypt and Thousand Year Storm. Pass the turn. Now we have Counterspell, which might protect Jace. Maybe. I doubt it, because my opponent can just play Stormcaller and Incinerate. Throw both Incinerates at Jace. And they really only need 1 to kill him. We have 8 mana. I guess let's see what our opponent does. Next turn we might just like Frantic Search Time Twister. Opponent plays Emery. Okay. That's fine. Opponent mills Swamp, Murderous Rider, Nighthawk Scavenger, and Mox Jet. If Jace can survive one more turn, we're like golden. It's really unlikely that he does, because our opponent has so many ways to kill him. The opponent goes to combat. They attack us, they attack Jace. Okay. Opponent gets a loot. Jace goes to 2. Opponent discards Ravenous Chupacabra, which I think is wise, because we have basically no creatures. Okay, they're casting Treasure Cruise. We didn't see Force out of them, so I'm not really worried about like a free counterspell or anything. So I think I'm going to let them draw. Because if they had had Force, they would have stopped us when we were comboing off, and we didn't see it in their grave. I don't even think I saw like a Daze or anything either. Alright, now come on, just flashback Firebolt and be done with it. Okay, opponent plays an island. They could have Spell Pierce, that would suck. Nice. Counterspell Firebolt. Okay, we untap. We draw 1,000 Year Storm. So, Brainstorm. Oh my god, Turnabout is amazing. So, oh shoot, what do we put back here? Blood Crypt and Time Twister, because we can Frantic Search. Is that right? Hang on a sec. If I put back Blood Crypt, Time Twister, I'm going to play the island, I'm going to Turnabout for free Storm count, play 1,000 Year Storm, then Frantic Search, but I have no cards left in my hand, so I can't do that actually. So we put back the 2 lands, I guess. Turnabout nets me 1 mana, which I think is all I need. Yeah, Turnabout myself, land, untap, float red, play 1,000 Year Storm, Frantic Search, 1 copy, loot those away, untap 3 lands, float mana, Frantic Search, loot those away, untap. It's a little awkward because we're going to Time Twister twice, but... or 3 times, actually. So we Time Twister. Oh man, we could Gush. We can't Turnabout. That sucks. If I Gush, it's free Storm count, and if I hit Frantic Search, we Frantic Search so many times. I'm going to do that. Okay. Mind's Desire, Chrome Mox. Anything we do, we have to do at instant speed, unfortunately. We can't cast any of these, because we basically have to hit Frantic Search as like a ritual. Okay, so shuffle everything back in, try again. Storm count of 5 with 4 extra copies. So this would be 1 copy, plus 5, plus 4. I mean, Brain Freeze is just enough to kill them, I think. I don't know why I did that. That was so dumb, because there's a Time Twister still on the stack. Oh my goodness. Opponent concedes. There was a Time Twister on the stack. All Alright, opponent, thank you for conceding. It definitely wasn't a win, because I'm an idiot. I should have let the last time twister resolve while we were trying to hit frantic search. Man. Alright. Round 1, we got it! I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, round 2, here we go. We'll play first. I actually kind of like this hand, so I'm going to keep it. I mean, we get completely wrecked by discard, but Impulse digging deep into our deck is pretty good. We have a lot of draw spells, so I can't believe my opponent conceded. They were very polite to do that. Okay, we draw Brain Freeze. Play Signet. Pass the turn. Like, if this is mono-white, we probably are in trouble. Like, I don't think we can beat Thalia. I don't think we can beat Spirit of the Labyrinth either. Draw Yogg-Will. Maybe we can beat Spirit of the Labyrinth, actually. If we're not drawing cards. Okay, opponent plays Marsh Flats. Cracks Marsh Flats. They get a Swamp. Okay. Hang on a sec. We have Counterspell in this deck, so let's Impulse. Mind's Desire is not technically drawing cards, so I think I will take Mind's Desire. Rest to the bottom. I could Brain Freeze them now, because they're probably just going to take Yogg-Will. Let's see if they leave me with Yogg-Will, or if they want to take Brain Freeze. They take Yogg-Will. Okay, they go to combat. Attack. They hit us for 3. We go to 17. And they play Seasoned Hollowblade. Is it worth milling them for 12? I think it might be. Kind of want to get an idea of what other cards they have, because I feel like it's going to be very difficult to win with a Spirit of the Labyrinth on board. We did give them a Lingering Souls. We draw Dark Petition. Play an island, pass the turn. If we draw a Swamp, we can Dark Petition. The only problem with that is Dark Petition is way better when you hit it off of Mind's Desire. Then it becomes like Dark Ritual plus Demonic Tutor. Okay, we untap. We're getting ported. Okay, play Blackcleave Cliffs. Pass the turn. I think our best draw would be a Turnabout. We get hit for 8, we go to 3. Opponent plays a Colonnade. We untap. Opponent should port Blackcleave Cliffs. Yep. Which means we will not be casting a Dark Petition. I don't know what we could hit, but we're going to cast Mind's Desire. And Blood Crypt is not it. Okay. So, versus my opponent's deck... I guess if I'm playing Thousand Year Storm, Lightning Strike should be in the main deck. Like, 100%. I'm going to drop Ulamog for Ugin. I don't think we'll need the Ulamog reshuffle. And then I think bringing in a Heartless Act or a Banefire is probably correct here, just to have another answer to onboard threats. The question is, what do I drop for it? I could take out Jace, because my opponent is going to be playing a whole bunch of creatures that can just attack Jace, and unless we're like Cryptic Tapping, we can't even protect him. But he's so good, though. Yeah, I think Jace is a little bit expensive. Even though, like, he's got the Unsummon, which is why I'm like, I don't know. Alright, we'll try it like this. I would love to play first. This is a lot of mana and a Mystical Tutor. I think I gotta keep this. Okay, start island. Pass the turn. Is there anything I want a Mystical Tutor for right away? Okay, opponent is starting Mox Diamond, which is a very strong start. Okay, Mox Jet. Spirit. So we will Mystical Tutor, and I think the plan is to get a Lightning Strike here. Play an island, and the question is, do we play Grim Monolith into Izzet Signet? Yeah, because that lets me Lightning Strike now, actually. We can untap Grim Monolith in the coming turns, because we're not going to be doing much else with our mana. And that makes Looter Eel Core actually do something. Okay. I get the sense that my opponent may have kept a hand off of the strength of what they just did. And if they don't have anything else, we're probably fine. Okay. Lingering Souls is not an incredibly fast clock. We untap. They play Wasteland. It's a good thing we play almost no non-basics. Okay, go to combat. Hit our opponent. We loot into a Chrome Mox. That is actually pretty bad here, so we're going to loot away Chrome Mox. Play out our island. Pass the turn. Now we have Cryptic, and then if our opponent doesn't do anything, we can untap our Grim Monolith. When it goes to combat, hits us for 2. Yep. You're going to flashback Lingering Souls. I could counter this and take them off of like any action for a very long time. Well, I could really slow down their clock, because if they're doing this, it means they likely don't have anything else, but I guess they have Thalia mana, so I'll let this resolve. Because if they resolve Thalia, we're like done. Oust here is also really bad. I'm glad I waited. So counter draw. Ooh, I do like Time Twister. Frantic Search is also good. Go to combat, we'll attack and loot. Gilded Lotus is better than Frantic Search here. I think it's unlikely my opponent is going to interact with my hand if I only have a 1 card in my hand. And we're not under immediate pressure to like try and combo off or anything. I will say if they have another, or if they drew Inquisition or anything like that, we're probably in trouble. Because this is our big draw spell. The opponent plays a Thraben Inspector, cracks the clue to draw a card, plays a Sacred Foundry tapped. We untap, we draw Cabal Ritual. Okay, go to combat, we're going to attack and loot. I want to untap Grim Monolith before we start comboing off. I mean, maybe I brawl and just combo off now. We haven't played a land yet. Cabal Ritual only gives us 1 mana. Brawl is going to grant us a bunch. Alright. Opponent potentially could have drawn Inquisition. Yeah, okay, I'm going to try to wait 1 more turn. And we're going to untap Grim Monolith this turn. This might be really greedy. But it's so good if it works. Opponent hits us for 4. We go to 10. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I don't like it. What is this? Look at please just be like a Hero of Blade Hold or something like big and dumb, not like interactive. Okay, opponent plays a land. Be like a Lyra. Unexpectedly absent. Putting Looter Ilkor under the top card of our deck? That's actually better. You should probably have put that directly on top. And probably also, I guess hitting Brawl was technically correct, but there's no way they could have known we're holding a Time Twister. We draw Ugin. Oh man, I think I just play Ugin and -1. This is like, what does my opponent do about that? The lag is real. Because that lets us keep Brawl, answer all of their threats. And now, even if they can rip Time Twister away from us, we have an active Ugin. And we're top decking Looter Eelkor. I think they have Murderous Rider. Although, no, the last person did for sure. This opponent might. Because we draw Looter Eelkor, uptick Ugin, play Looter. I still will try to Storm Kill them, I think, next turn. There's just no reason to draw our opponent 7 cards right now. Okay, we untap. Draw Black Cleave Cliffs. Is Ugin 11 or 10? Okay. Heck, maybe we just beat them down. They're only like 2 turns away from dead. Nice. Nice. Ugin was very good there. Do I want to make any... Damnation, actually. I forgot about Damnation. It is double black, though, which has actually proven quite difficult to get to, except for when we have, like, Gilded Lotus. I'm just going to run it back, and I'm going to restart the client when we get into the match. Okay, not a bad opener, I think. We can pitch Impulse and play Looter. If my opponent has Inquisition to start, we might be in trouble, but that would be about it. I guess this hand is also bad if my opponent does have Spirit of the Labyrinth again. I'm not going to mulligan. I'm going to keep this. We do get a draw. Opponent did mulligan to 6. They start Caracas. Mox Diamond, pitching Concealed Courtyard. Thalia. Okay, well, that's a problem. We draw Frantic Search. Play a Swamp. Play Chrome Mox for 1. Exile. I think we still exile Impulse and try and play Looter next turn. Thalia is going to make our life very difficult. And they have Caracas to protect her, and Relic Warder to tax our... Oh, no. Well, we gotta top deck an island, like, now. Alright, there's the island. Play Looter. Pass the turn. Oh, man. Our opponent's just got everything. Ugh. Like, if you asked me to construct a hand that beat what I was doing, I would have picked something very close to what my opponent is playing right now. And we're top decking Looter now. Okay, opponent plays Confidant. Play Looter. Okay, opponent gets Faith's Fetters. Attacks for 6. We take 6. Go to 7. Untap. Draw Cryptic Command. Okay, well, we have to attack and loot. Brain Freeze doesn't do anything. Pitch Ugin. We just can't cast anything. Opponent reveals a Hero of Bladehold. We're going to 1. We play Inspector. And, like, even if I had Damnation in the deck, we wouldn't have the mana to cast it. Yeah, I think there was just nothing we could do with this hand. I needed a mulligan. But my opponent, like, also just had, like, the hand. Alright. I will see you guys in match 3. Alrighty, round 3. Here we go. I mean, it's a little slow for Storm, but depends on how slow my opponent's hand is. Okay, opponent starts tap land after a mulligan to 6. We draw Time Twister. Okay. Play an island, pass the turn. Opponent plays an island. And an Izzet Signet, sure. We draw Mystical Tutor. Play an island. Play our own Izzet Signet. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a mountain. I'm suspecting they're the Kiki deck. Okay, Mom and Pop. We untap. Draw an island. Play an island. Play Jace. Jace is just going to absorb a hit here. Brainstorm. Frantic Search, island. Put back island and island. I don't think there's anything worth hiding in our hand here. And we're just... I think if we can just take this slow and resolve a 1,000-year storm, provided my opponent doesn't create a much faster clock, we're fine. Because they have to take a turn off of attacking us before they even really start to deal with Jace. Imperial Recruiter. Yeah, they're definitely playing Kiki. Or they were trying to draft Kiki. One of the two. Okay, there's Kiki. We untap. Get an island. Play an island. Pass the turn. If I'm really worried about anything they could play, I could Mystical Tutor for a counterspell and Frantic Search into it. Which I think I'm going to do if this is... Oh, it's Teferi. Yeah. So, Mystical Tutor. Let's get a Cryptic Command. Frantic Search. We'll discard Gush, Brain Freeze. Tap, untap, untap. Counterspell draw. Okay. We untap. We draw another island. Play an island. Let's go for 1,000-year storm. Pass the turn. So since... Did we discard Turnabout? I feel like we discarded Turnabout. No, I saw it when I was Mystical Tutoring, that's what it was. Okay, opponent plays Kiki. Makes a token copy of Imperial Recruiter. Gets Glenalandra Archmage. It's us for 6. We go to 8. Untap. We draw a Swamp. Which I feel like playing the Swamp is correct here, because we do want access to at least 1 black mana. We will start Time Twister. No copies. Hope my opponent's not playing any free counter spells. There's no way for us to cast Dark Petition. Oh, that sucks. And we're just dead on board. Yep. If only we had one more black card in this hand, but like we don't run that many black cards. Well, that sucks. So Lightning Strike in, I think Ulamog out. We could bring in like Venser or Heartless Act. Heartless Act would be a little bit better because my opponent is playing Kiki, but I think we're fine here. Yeah, I'm just gonna run it back at like this, I think. I'll play first. Well, it's a turn 1 looter with Daze backup, so I will keep. We will be pitching Cryptic Command to Chrome Mox. So play an island, play Chrome Mox, imprint Cryptic Command, play looter, pass the turn. Opponent starts Arid Mesa and passes. We untap, draw Cabal Ritual, go to combat, get in for 1, hit our opponent. We will probably loot away Cabal Ritual here, yep. Play an island, pass the turn. Okay. Opponent cracks Arid Mesa, gets a Sacred Foundry tapped. Okay. Opponent untaps, plays an island. Is this worth dazing, I guess, is the question. Let's Impulse. We'll take Dimir Signet, I think. Or we could take Jace, and if we top deck a land, it's really good. Problem is, if I'm gonna daze this, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I think we take Jace. Rest of the bottom. Yeah, we will daze here. I mean, it means we can't play Jace, but... Okay, we draw Turnabout, play a land, go to combat. Probably gonna loot away Gilded Lotus, I think. Yeah, we're gonna... Actually, we're gonna discard Turnabout. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a mountain. Passes, we untap, draw land, go to combat. Attack for 1. Loot into a Gush, drop an island. Play an island. Attempt to resolve Jace. If Jace resolves, I'm fate sealing myself. We want to draw land. Yes, we do. We will not put island on the bottom. Pass the turn. The only reason I'm doing this is because my opponent is playing red and probably has a lot of lightning bolts in their deck, or other burn spells that could matter. Opponent thirsts, discarding Sundering Titan. Yeah, Sundering Titan's actually not that good against us because we have almost no duels. So it would be like an 8-mana Stone Rain. I mean, it's a good clock, but... Yeah, opponent Trinket Mages for... Black Lotus, that's pretty good. And then Burst Lightning's Looter. Okay. We untap. Oh, they play Black Lotus. Just to get around a counterspell, maybe? 3 blue mana. Jace Mirror Mage. Opponent draws a land. Okay. We untap. Draw an island. Brainstorm. Let's put back Island, Mystical Tutor. Play an island. Play Gilded Lotus. And I think I'm going to just Time Twister here. It's the most likely time a spell of ours is going to resolve. Okay. Alright. Good draws. So let's see what our opponent does. Who knows if they have an island or not now. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks Jace. Jace goes down to 3. They play a mountain. They play Black Lotus. They might just be able to kill us. They crack for white, which is concerning. Okay, they play Teferi. They draw Dig Through Time, which immediately kills Jace. When it upticks Teferi, gonna untap 2 of their lands. Okay. 5 mana on their end step. Burst Lightning's our Jace. Okay. We untap. We draw an island. So we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. And we can cast a number of spells here. We can't draw any cards, unfortunately, because we don't have Jace anymore. So I think we just run out, like, Thousand Year Storm. So play an island. Play Grim Monolith. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to have to tap for red. Tap Grim Monolith for colorless. Play Dimir Signet. Filter out of colorless. 1,000-Year Storm. Storm count of 3. We can Mystical Tutor Lightning Strike. We can Cabal Ritual Lightning Strike. Or we can Mystical Tutor and then Brain Freeze. No, we can't Mystical Tutor and Brain Freeze. We can Cabal Ritual Brain Freeze. If we cast Lightning Strike, we can kill Teferi and Trinket Mage. And we can set up our next draw with Mystical Tutor, which I kind of like. Oh, actually, no, I can't do that. I can, if I Mystical Tutor into Lightning Strike, I can kill Teferi or Trinket Mage. And killing Teferi would be theoretically fine, because otherwise they can, like, tuck 1,000-Year Storm. Yeah, I think that's the play. Mystical Tutor, 0 copies. And what is our best possible draw here for next turn? Because next turn we have, like, Cabal Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Brain Freeze, and what? Could Yogwill for Time Twister? Or we could Gush, draw a whole bunch of cards. Could Cabal Ritual, Dark Petition, get 2 more cards that are like, yeah, okay. Let's put Dark Petition on top. Lightning Strike Teferi twice. I think this works. Unless my opponent has a good counter spell of some kind. 1 piece of artifact destruction doesn't do it. Opponent starts by thirsting for knowledge. Discarding Wandering Fumarole and a mountain. Plays a mountain. Imperial Recruiter. Probably for Kiki. Deceiver Exarch. Alright. They might already be holding Kiki. They attack us for 2. So we untap. We draw Dark Petition. Start with Cabal Ritual. 0 copies. Brain Freeze our opponent. We could actually mill ourselves here and get Yogwill, but the risk is if we mill Yogwill. Opponent does have Splinter Twin. Dark Petition, 2 copies, each copy adding 3 black mana. So let's get Gush, Frantic Search, and I guess I should have gotten Counterspell. We'll get Yogwill. So then we Frantic Search, draw approximately 1 million cards. I doubt we're actually going to need Gush here. So I'm actually going to discard Looter Eel Core and Gush. Untap, untap, untap. Float mana. So now we have... Okay, discard Island, Island. Untap, untap, untap. Discard, discard. Untap, untap, untap. Float mana. Discard, discard. Untap, untap, untap. Okay. Now we Yogwill approximately 1 million times. I could Brain Freeze them just to see what they have. I think I'm going to do that. What the remaining, like, 10 cards in their deck are. Only get a bajillion targets for the same spell. Or bajillion copies, I mean. This is super overkill. If I were my opponent and I didn't have a... Okay, they do have a Force of Will. If I were my opponent and I knew I was going to lose to that, I would have conceded on the spot. Because us knowing they have Force of Will, a Braid, and Splinter Twin is kind of important. Alright, let's just Lightning Strike them to death. Nice. Okay. This means that if I have another situation with a lot of copies for, like, Dark Petition, we want to make sure that we have some kind of counterspell. It's going to be really important. We could also get Banefire as a way to win, because it is uncounterable. I didn't see, like, any kind of misdirect or redirect effect. I don't know what I would bring it in for, though, is the problem. I'm just going to run it back. So, the possibility exists for us to get Force of Willed out of the game, but this is a pretty good Storm deck. Despite not having High Tide or, like, a bunch of rituals, we have a bunch of artifact mana that has been working out a lot for us. Heck, we even turnaboutted artifacts to generate a bunch of mana.
I thought this deck was kind of hopeless, but I've been doing pretty good. Alright, I like this hand. It's not like mega ideal, but it's pretty good. Start island, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a mountain, passes, draw swamp, play a swamp, play Is It Signet. Kind of sensing an Abrade here. Nope, they didn't have it. Next turn we have Baral with Counterspell backup. Deceiver Exarch. I will Counterspell that, because this could just be like Twin. Can we get Gush? Play an island, pass the turn. Oh, did we see Pestermite at any point? They're playing white. I assume they have Restoration Angel. But I'm not sure we saw Pestermite or anything like that. Play Gilded Lotus. Play Baral. Okay. We have a pretty decent chance of going off next turn. Okay, opponent thirsts. They discard Sundering Titan. Pretty sure there's an artifact reanimation spell in this format. So they could, like, reanimate Sundering Titan, kill Swamp and Island. We could actually Gush to protect an island in a scenario like that. 5 mana, they play Teferi. Okay. If my opponent has no answer, they're going to downtick on Gilded Lotus. They're going to downtick on Baral. Interesting. Okay. We untap. Tons of mana. We draw Impulse. So let's start off with a Gush. Play an island. Play out Baral. Impulse. I think Yogg-Will wins, actually. Rest to the bottom. Frantic Search. Discard island, discard island. Untap, untap, untap. Brain Freeze for 5. Yogg-Will Brain Freeze, I think does it. There's Force of Will. Opponent has Zealous Conscripts. Cast Yogg-Will. Sweet. Alright, well, we 2-1'd. We probably should have 1-2'd, but our first round opponent did concede to us. If you guys like this content, you want to see more Vintage Cube, please let me know. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. And remember, you can follow me on Twitch, same username over there as you find me on here. I'm not quite sure when the next stream is going to be, but keep a lookout. It might be sooner than you think. We'll see. It really depends on my parents' internet, because I will be traveling soon. I would expect that there is still daily YouTube content even during the time of which I am traveling and I'm out of state. But I just don't know about the streams yet. All right, well, I hope you all enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!